What's up, you wild tigers? Welcome to the Game Design Show. Today is the lens of the holographic design. Now we're going to continue from last week's. Been talking about skin and skeleton of the game so we can move forward into elements of the game. So the skin of the game is the player experience, like Fortnite, tag. Now the skeleton is the element of the game, like the weapons, the rules of the game. For instance, like weapons being everywhere. That is an element because then it allows people to run away, go get a weapon, and come back, go back and forth with each other, get a better weapon. Now, but you must be aware of a terrible trap the main designers fall into, okay? So some designers think constantly the elements of the game, forget about the player experience. It is not enough to merely understand the various game elements and how they interact with another. You must always consider how they relate to the experience. This is one of the greatest challenges of game design. To simultaneously feel the experience of your game while understanding which elements and elemental interactions are causing the experience and why. You must see skin and skeleton at once. If you focus on skin, you can think about how an experience feels, but understand why it feels that way or how to improve it. If you focus only on skeleton, you can make a game structure that's beautiful in theory, but potentially horrible in practice. If you can manage to focus on both at the same time, then you're beautiful. You're golden. So in Chapter 2, we discussed the importance of challenge of observing and analyzing your own experiences. So that's another thing about game designers is you have to go and experience life. That's really it. So it's like, hey, I want to be a game designer and make anything, even stories, even movies, anything that has to do with creating your own story. You're gonna have to go and experience a life. I mean, it's true. One of the greatest videos I ever watched was a extra credits, and this one how to be a game designer. It's like you have to learn about religion, politics, space, biology, chemistry, calculus, creative writing, art, acting, all this stuff. Why? Because when you go in to make a game, there's got to be elements that you can relate to. So it's like, okay, well, I'm making a game about a kingdom with these knights, and they're going to go underwater and gonna have this cool scene where they find space, okay? Space gear, and they're like, whoa, they're starting to fight like water people, aliens, and all this stuff. Cool. When you go to the water world, there's gotta be biology that matches a world down there. Space, you gotta match the technology that would actually work with a futuristic society. Politics, you gotta make sure everything is interworking and makes sense. It's like people aren't just fighting the fight. There's reasons for turmoils and internal wars and struggles and fights, and there's a reason that this kingdom has been fighting this other kingdom and they're not getting along, and now they get reasons why people believe certain things, religion, why these people believe that the goddess of Horidicida is the greatest person ever because she lets the rain and wonderful nature of life come together, and then people believe in this cultic Sardon because he's supposed to give power. It's like there's a bunch of things that you need to understand when you're creating your own world. World building itself is powerful. Even when you're making small, simple games, it's like the world itself as you construct it has to match with how things work in a constrained place. So if you're making yourself a world, you might want to learn about the world yourself. And it also helps to just branch and think of ideas. If you understand a lot about the world, when it comes time to make a game, even if it's like a new version of Pong, right? You're gonna think and be like, well, I saw these kids playing this game in Italy, and it reminded me about Pong itself, and maybe we can use that to make Pong better. Things like that is really important. So now, and essentially, the skill you need to develop is the ability to observe your own experience while thinking about the underlying cause of the experience. So this is a great thing, and I have a great challenge for you guys, and I'll tell you at the end. So this is lens number 8, the holographic design. To use this lens, you must see everything in your game at once, the 4 elements in the player experience as well as how they interrelate. It is acceptable to shift your focus from skin and skeleton and back end, but it's far better to view your game experience holographically together. Ask yourself these questions when you're playing your game, playing a game, anything. What elements does the game make the experience enjoyable? What elements of the game detract from the experience? How can I change game elements to improve the experience? So now, that is it. That's all this video is about. It's about how can I see a game from its elements and its experience in one. That's it. So my challenge for you guys is to play any game. And actually, I want you guys to keep a journal. okay? And I want you to talk about the experiences you find in games. So what I'm going to be doing when Last of Us 2 comes out and Cyberpunk is doing a whole analysis about like how this game makes me feel and why, because those are going to be two great games and that perfect game design. I believe it. And we can also find things that maybe they did wrong. It happens, especially when you have a large team and lots of focus and that. Things might go wrong, but sometimes it's so the bigger overall thing can go right. We can discover all of that, or all the game will be good. We will find out. But now, we're going to focus more on the elements next video, and then we're going to dive deep into that, because to be able to look at everything whole, you have to first master what player experiences, master elements, so that way you see them all, you go, that's what it is, and then you have to then use them together. These videos are helping you build a tool set to become a better game designer, so that you can be a better team player on a team, or a better person on your own game, so that you can understand why you're programming this, designing this, building these things, so that you can have a very fun indie game. So I'll catch you guys next time. As always, keep designing, keep building, and you are a game designer.